Hey, it's Jason, obviously. All right, so just going to tell it how it is. It's kind of how I am. We are officially in a buyer's market. We went from a seller market in COVID. Prices went way up. The last 3 years have been relatively flat. No appreciation to speak of, maybe 1 or 2% here or there, 3 years ago to 2 years ago. The last 2 years has been, or 2 years ago to 1 year ago, it was flat, just nothing. Not even enough to pay the interest on the payments or the taxes. As far as increases in the last year, we've gone down approximately 8 to 10%. The higher price ranges over 900,000 have gone down substantially. So the hard part about it's not hard to tell the truth. But you're telling things that people don't want to hear. We have sellers that are stuck at certain prices, and I say this with all due respect, and there's no showings, no activity, no offer. Feedback is poor, or people are choosing other properties. If you're not having 1 or 2 showings a week over $1 million, you're overpriced. You can spin it however you want to. And there's all sorts of things that we tell ourselves. And I say this with all due respect. I don't have to sell. I'm waiting. I'm going to wait till next year. I'm putting this in video, so it's in, it's not going to go anywhere, so that I can save it and we can verify that it's been sent. Your home values are going to be lower next year, the experts are saying, by another 10%. So let's say you're listed at 1.5 million. The real number is 1.1 million. You've had absolutely no showings. There's houses that have gone down that much, just so you're aware. Okay? There's some that have gone down 20%. So this is what's going on. You're at 1.5, the real number is 1.1. It is not 1.5. If it's not selling up here and there's no action, it is not worth one. No matter what we want or what we need for the next purchase, and prices going down all across the country. It's not just Montana, but we went up so much, it's really going down. Well, whatever goes up a lot comes down a lot. It's how it is. Places like Great Falls and Butte, and there's little isolated areas, are not going down as much. Florida's going down. The East Coast is going down. The West Coast is going down. It's going down everywhere. There's not, maybe there's 1 or 2 hyper-local markets somewhere in the United States that haven't gone down, but maybe they didn't go up. What goes up a lot comes down a lot. Okay, so you got this house at 1.5. The real number is 1.1. In your mind, you're saying it's 1.5. It's not, because if it was, it would have sold, truly. Okay, and if the real number is 1.1, that's X. So I'm going to talk about X a lot. X is the actual number, what it's worth. Actual number. Okay? It's going to be worth 10% less from what the experts are telling us from the 1.1 down. So you're going to be under $1 million if you wait till next year. Waiting is going to cost you 10%. Further, from 1 year to 2 years out, so in the next 2 years, they say it could be as little as 15 and as much as 20. We're erasing the COVID gains fully. It does not matter if you got another offer before. That is not a comp. That is not a baseline. If it didn't close and you had an offer before, you can throw that number out, because that was then, this is now. When we're pulling comps back a year, if we pulled a comp to compare to yours when we met with you months ago, that price of that house that we used as a comp is also lower now. Anybody who bought in the last couple of years cannot resell their house. Really, the last 3 years, cannot resell their house for more than what they paid. I'm sorry. I don't dictate that. Real estate agents don't dictate that. We look at historical data, and then as we go, we look at the showings and the offers. My bills are over $50,000 a month. You should know that. And a lion's share of that is staffing to dote on you and to do the things behind the scenes. And the other half of that, or close to half of that, is on literally marketing in any way that works, because we know what works. Little newspapers here or there, little ads on realtor.com and all this stuff does not work. That stuff isn't what works. What works is a high level of Google play, a high level of social play, a high level of retargeting, and a high level of behind the scenes Google stuff. Retargeting brings all of the people that are using our database, over 24,000 people. It constantly markets to those people, out to the realtors and out to 356 real estate websites. Believe me, your house is out there, and believe me, it's being seen, but it's been overseen by something that has more square footage or more acreage, a more desirable area, a more desirable lot. You can always tell how desirable your house is at the price it's at by how many showings you're having and how many offers. There's no other way to quantify that. Nobody comes along after 6 months and says this is an incredible deal nobody else bought it, but I'm going to come along in 6 months and pay this price. By waiting right now and being, I don't know if there's another word, stubborn, or I'm not being disrespectful. If you don't have to sell, let us know, because it does you no good to have it just sit there at a higher price. But understand, we have to find out what X is, because it's going to be 10% less next year than X is today. X is not your number. X is the number someone would make an offer at. If there's no showings, there's no offers. So if you're going to make the best financial decision, this is why I'm recording this, okay, for your family, you have got to reduce the price. That is, there's no world that exists where if something just sits there for 6 months, someone magically bounces along. That can give you a valid offer that's non-contingent, right? Non-contingent buyers will always pay a little bit more because there's a 1% chance it's ever going to close, all right? And when I say a little bit more, it's not a lot more. They'll throw absurd offers out there just to see if you'll take it so that they can put their house on the market so that they can come buy it, and it just doesn't ever work out really. I mean, it works out, it's the highest risk type of offer you can ever get. The thing with people that we have listed currently right now, and this is going out to all of our sellers, just a frank conversation, right? The thing about it is, okay, and we're going to look at the data. This is not a sales pitch. The fact of the matter is that if you don't want to sell, call and tell us. We have a cancellation policy. It's no problem. We're not trying to hold your feet to the fire. We're trying to make sure you don't lose more money down the road, because we just have our heels dug in so much that we bite off our nose to spite our face. And we don't want to do that, okay? Again, I say that with all due respect, but this is a time right now where you could lose another 10% from stubbornness, truly, okay? So taking it off and starting it next spring, you're not going to make, if it's not selling now at this price, it sure as heck isn't going to sell next year at this price. The rates aren't going down. There's nobody is saying that the rates are going to go down. Oh, the Fed might drop. No, that has nothing to do with mortgage rates. Fed rates, the last 2 times the Feds dropped the rates went up by almost a half a point. It's 10-year treasury bonds, and nobody wants to invest in a United States treasury bond at $37 trillion in the hole. It's like toilet paper, truly. So until people start coming out of the stock market and investing in that, which nobody wants to do right now, and is not, clearly, because the rates still remain high. A quarter point here or there fluctuation in the rates, which has been bouncing like that for a year, doesn't move the needle whatsoever. All right, now let's look at the data. I'm looking down here. We have not had inventory levels this high in Missoula County since I think 2012, I believe is the number I looked up the other day. 498 residential homes for sale. 498. When most of you started listing, it was in the 200s. This is going to go up to 600, I'm willing to bet. I bet it would go up to 450, and people called me nuts 6 months ago, and here we are. We have blown way past that, okay? Now, let's look at Ravalli County, if I can spell it correctly. Oh, I have it in state, sorry. Look at it in county. There we go. I'll use the excuse I'm blind in my left eye, or partially blind in my left eye. Okay. 347 down there. That is insane. I mean, the Bitterroot Valley has more overpriced homes than I've ever seen. It's anemic. Okay, I mean, like if you have even a logically priced home down there right now, it's going to fly off the shelves. If your house is just sitting there, you're in one of the 6 or 7 that's overpriced. But you told me my price. No, I tell everybody constantly that they need to reduce their price, and then they don't. None of us try to take a listing at a higher price in order to hope it will sell. We're looking at historical data. We don't determine the sales price. The buyers determine the sales price. We help you develop a starting point. And then we hope that you'll listen to what the market is telling you and reduce so that we can get into that showing count, so that we can get an offer on your house. You can't sit there and hope an offer will come and then blame the agent when the agent says we need to reduce. We're not doing that as a tactic to get a listing. That's why we let people cancel. So, we're basically begging for cancellations. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't want to hurt you by having it be on the market for longer while your heels are dug in. Best thing to do is just to take it off the market, truly. Okay, so we have a cancellation clause. Please see that. We can email it to you. We're happy to do that. Just so I'm that convicted that I would say that, okay? If it's sitting there, it's not going to not sit there at some point. Nothing's magically going to happen where this real estate market starts going again. We have to come down off of our COVID gains, for sure. 347 down there. Okay, we have massive inventory, and it's all because it's overpriced. So please heed my warning that's being recorded and timestamped that the prices are going to continue to fall your price is not the market price, or you would be under contract or sold by now. And it's from whatever that X is, which hopefully you'll allow us to help you find logically. It'll be 10% less than that if you decide to wait, and potentially more than that. In 2 years, it could be 15 to 20% below. So if you don't have to move, there's no reason to have the house on the market if there's no showings, or they're once every 45 days. That's not a sign of something that's priced right. And it doesn't take the right buyer. It takes the right price. Okay. I've been doing this long enough. We have 1,350 sales. We have all the data. We have the showing data. We have the market data. We have the investor data. We have all the data. And we also know what's going on. If we're getting no calls from buyers and no call from even agents, so 1,200 agents that are out there, it's crickets. It's not a sign that your house is priced correctly. Okay, so it turns my stomach to say these things. I don't want to say these things. I want to say that the market's going up and everything's rosy and there's unicorns and rainbows flying around, but it's not. As far as what we're doing, we're having our best year ever. Because when I send these videos out to most people, they reduce down to where they get showings and then they get offers right away. There's kind of a correlation there. You have to be willing to move with the market right now, or the market is going to run you over. It's a fact. So I know we'd like to sell your house for $50 million, right? But having it at $50 million, or where you're at now, if it's stagnant, is the same thing. It's just literally too high. So hopefully you will reach out to us and you will let us know. There's massive amounts of price reductions. Look on our site or look on any of the sites. There's massive amounts of days on market and stale listings out there. If you're in the stale, the only way to refresh it is to go ahead and reduce. Then it shows reduced across all the sites. And you'll know if that worked right away by how many showings it immediately creates. If you reduce it and nothing goes down, we're still chasing the market down right now rather than up. And what's going to happen is the longer it sits there, the marketing doesn't just start magically working after 4 months. Marketing works for about 30 days. Yes, we restart the marketing over, but it doesn't have the same punch as a price reduction or anything, or a brand new listing or something like that. Days on market are a killer right now. The longer it sits, the staler it gets, and it will become a red herring at some point, especially if it was listed before us, either for sale by owner or with another agent. So if you've had a house on the market for 2 or 3 years with another agent, maybe it's your price. Could we consider that? Okay. Anyways, again, I say this with all due respect. It's because I care that I'm saying these things, not to be a jerk. And I would like you to know that we're doing all that we can, but if nobody's coming, we can't sell it. We have to make them come. And what does that is price. And it's probably going to be lower than you want or think. Okay. And that's the market we're in. We do not dictate that. The buyers do. They are in control. They have control right now. Please let us know what your intentions are to reduce or to cancel. Kind of staying right where you're at is unsmart. So please just let us know what your intentions are, and we'll have an adult, frank conversation, and then we'll go from there and continue to advise you best we can, which is what this is. Thank you very much for your attention. Bye-bye.